Hey guys, Tarke here. I want to give you guys a quick update on how my league start has gone. Now, I have been absolutely destroyed by internet problems. Everything on my end has been pretty stable the last few days. I have had some on and off internet issues over the last month, but they were all mostly fixed. Then literally a minute before the servers went live, we were streaming quite happily. We just started up 20 minutes before. A minute before the servers go live, my net starts dropping. My net proceeded to chain drop on and off for the first 30 or 40 minutes, meaning I didn't stream the start of the league. Then throughout the entire leveling process, my net would drop sporadically for about anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes. Constant frame rate, constant DC. We tried streaming like 3 or 4 different times, but we were having constant issues. It was really no fun. And we were leveling as duo, and it would basically be a case of I would start screaming lag. About 15 seconds later, the dude on Discord I was with would realize that I disconnected because he wouldn't hear me anymore, and I'd stop moving. I'd be spamming Alt F4. It was really, really sketchy, so we've only hit level 49, and after about 8 hours of extreme struggle, I was just like, you know, screw this, I'm gonna go to sleep, and hopefully it's fixed and it's woken up. I've just woken up, the internet seems to be working, and I'm gonna try streaming later on, but this is definitely a ISP league for me. Feels really fucking bad, man. That being said, what build am I playing, and what am I playing? I am playing Ice Shots. I was going to play a Tornado Shot Assassin going into the league, and I'd made a tree for it. It was nice and tanky. I had like 200% life. I was feeling really good. I was like, this is the build I'm going to play. And then they released the new Ice Shot Threshold duel a good hour or so before the new league came up, and I saw it and I was like, you know what, I kind of have to play with it just because I am the king of bows. I am the bow dude. All I do is play bow builds, and if they're releasing new thresholds, then let's just experience them. Let's just experience them. Now, the Omen on the Winds is not an amazing duel. It's a good duel. It is good. With 2 of these equipped, you get 100% chance for your eye shot to pierce, meaning you don't need to run the pierce gem, meaning you don't need to get the pierce cluster on the tree, which is quite important. You get 50% increased area of effect for your eye shot, kind of nice. And you'd get 40% increased damage against shield enemies if you had 2 perfectly rolled ones. I think they roll 15 to 20% increased damage. Now, not using the pierce gem, there are actually a lot of really good links for eye shot. A lot of good links. If we just quickly jump in. So if you're doing a crit build, you have an option of Cold Pen, Weapon Elemental Damage, Physical Projectile Attack Damage, Slower Projectiles, Increased Critical Strike Damage, Increased Critical Strikes, Faster Attacks, GMP, Hypothermia. Hypothermia is really, really nice. Hypothermia is a massive more multi, assuming you've hit a chilled target, and Eye Shot always chills, so the first hit won't get buffed, but the second and anything after that does get buffed, which is pretty juicy. And then crit multi, all that stuff. It's all pretty bog standard, right? But basically, the whole point of this build is rock 2 Omen of Winds, try and get the best fizz bow I can, and yeah, right side of a tree, fizz crit. Seems good. I'm planning on maybe doing some juicy ignites because you can use stuff like Rim Burn, which lets your cold damage ignite. I don't know how good it is. That's why I haven't taken this conversion on the tree here. You can also do Ice Shot AoE with Barrage single target, and you can convert your Barrage to 100% cold very easily. I think I'm going to try and just be a pure Ice Shot build, so just Ice Shot single target and AoE. And I think it's going to be doable, but it's going to be kind of... It's going to be a learning experience. Now, one thing I'm going to say, I would not recommend you all go out and play this build because obviously I don't know what it's like. I'm going to start leveling it. And for the record, the new Shrapnel Shot duel is better than the Ice Shot duel. The new Shrapnel Shot duel is really good. It gives you, again, limited to 100% increased cone damage. So you do some like point blank chin sol shrapnel shot. Unfortunately, I didn't find out about that until the league starting, and by that point I was like, you know what, I'm just too invested in the Ice Shot meme. I managed to pick up 2 of the jewels really early on for chaos each. We also did pick up an Exalted Orb in a Breach, which was pretty nice. We've had maybe up to about 5 chaos, but I bought a few things. Mostly Omen of the Winds early on. I also got a Cloak of Flame drop for me early. And I got an Ambu's Charge playing duo. Otherwise, all the other stuff is just being random whatever gear. I picked up this belt, which was insane. This dropped for me, and I was like, I am not replacing this for a long time. Fizz damage. I use Fizz conversion bows. Wed. I'm at a full elemental build. Life. Dual res. Increased flash edges gained. And this Kappa Pride flask. This is a new flask, which I'm really excited about. For anyone who played D3, I know, right? If you remember the Monk passive, I can't remember what it's called. They had a passive where it chose your highest resistance and made all your resists equal that. So like you would stack just fire res on all of your gear, and then all of your resists would equal that. This is a similar effect, but it's a different effect, but it has that similar sort of like extreme gearing process. So during flask effects, 10% reduced damage taken of each element for which your uncapped LE resistance is the lowest. That does not mean you need to have undercapped resistances. Uncapped means your resist in hideout. So like all of the breach resist items, it works in the exact same way. And it's of each element, it has been confirmed. So if all of your resists were exactly the same, you'd get 10% damage reduction for all of your resists. Now, getting all of your resists to perfectly match would require a very specific gear set. I think getting 2 of your resists to match isn't actually that difficult. You just need to be patient with the way you gear and search very specific roles. And yeah, we've all done that thing, like we're trying to get our resist sorted, and like you just get exactly on the nose, like just the right amount. So with a little bit of tweaking, getting 2 to match is fine. And if you get 2 to match, that's 10% reduced damage taken to your 2 lowest elements, or 20% elemental pen to your 2 highest elements. And yeah, so whichever element is your lowest, you get the 10% reduced damage taken, and for which elements are your highest, you get 20% pen, which is really juicy. So yeah, it's a pretty nice flask. I think this is really underrated, and I think this might become the new like OP flask. It is very niche. It's fairly common for what I've seen. When I looked, I got like the first one on PV Trade. I just like bought it for 5C. I pulled up some currency between me and the other people I was playing with. I'm like, dude, I think this flask could be broken, and it's really good for my build, so I'm just gonna buy on 5C. You know, like Sin's Rebirth at the start of next league. I would say Sin's Rebirth is a more powerful flask than this, in the fact that you just equip it and it's PogChamp. This you need to gear around. That was like 5 to 20C for the start of the league, and then it just like suddenly went, oh, and now it's 150C. There was just like a day where people went, this is actually really good. I should be selling this for 20C. I think that this has potential to be that, because if you were a Pathfinder, like I'm a Raider in this build, which is kind of unfortunate, but if I was a Pathfinder and you managed to theoretically cap like a bunch of resists, you'd be looking at 15% reduced damage taken and 30% damage pen on a flask. Pretty juicy, pretty juicy. Flask also does give you a bunch of all res, so you can use this as a budget way of capping out any weakness maps, or making sure that you don't need to worry about curses and any weakness maps. Like a lot of people just hit the any weakness cap, but then if they get hit by like a flammability or whatever in that map, they get screwed over. With this on top, you just don't worry about anything. But yeah, this is basically where I'm at right now. I am going to try streaming later on today. I'm hoping the internet has sorted itself out, and I will keep you updated on how I feel about iShot. So far, so good though. Point Blank is OP for leveling. Just Point Blank plus iShot is... But yes, I'm Tarke. I look tired as fuck because I've only had like 3 or 4 hours sleep. Have a good day. Bye-bye.